What up, man? How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, unicorn right.
You good? That's what I'm hearing. You want to talk it off?
I know him.
Yeah, I'll be live in a minute.
Oh, man.
All right, all right.
Oh, no.
Man, that's fucked up. When they come, about a half hour ago? How you doing?
You were recording?
Tell her join unicorn.
So you weren't able to get none of your shit?
You were recording? Got what I could pull out of that bitch.
We met. We met.
Arrest me.
Yeah,
We're live now. You want to talk about it? We're live now.
Yeah.
So we're here live on 29th and 14th where Minneapolis police are starting to evict an encampment here. We got King right here as a resident and some other residents. Go ahead, what happened to you? How'd you find out the police were coming?
I just found out I was asleep and they I just heard a bunch of yelling saying time to go, gotta go. And then they seen me, they ripping my tent, cutting into my tent. And I couldn't grab nothing. Like I was going back in there to grab something and they said I couldn't grab anything. Like I had to like sneak back in just to get what I got. But I didn't get hundreds of dollars worth of shit, dog. I left in there, dog.
Man, you
we
literally
barely walked out with pants on, bro. Bro, I almost had to get out in my boxes, bro, or they was gonna arrest me.
Wow. So you have all your stuff in your tent back there and it's now getting bulldozed.
Yeah, they already plowed it.
Yeah, they already took
plowed
our
my shit.
They already
to the
plowed it.
dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already put it in a dump truck, sent it straight to the landfill.
They tried to arrest a couple of people.
They did arrest.
They did arrest.
people.
There was some arrest?
They arrested Angela.
Angela Richards.
Really?
Angela Richards from Southside Harm Reduction.
Yeah.
She simply broke the tape line, the police tape line, and they arrested her.
Long time.
Oh.
the last time
You were
saw
saying
it?
you wanted something? You wanted to say something?
Not
Go
much.
ahead.
Like literally, like this is like what I was trying to tell to our people is that this is illegal. Like we're residents, we've been there longer than 30 days. They can't like, this is, our tents is like a room. It's like you're sharing a room for rent. I don't think we don't pay no rent. Thing is, they can't just come in your room and kick you out. They can't come in your tent unless you open the door. It's just like that, the door of your tent is like a door to your apartment, to your room. They're not allowed access unless they have a search warrant. They didn't have no search warrant. They just came and bamboozled everybody and scared everybody to freaking leaving. And that's just crazy. I don't like, and literally, I came over and tried to and yelled it, you know?
Yeah. How much stuff have you had here?
I kind of worked in my favor. I ain't really have that much stuff.
Okay, good.
But like, I was getting ready to start over anyway. Like I got a bunch of friends and family. They are my family, you know?
Word.
Seeing them all their stuff in the tents, they can't get it because they're too scared about getting arrested.
Right.
And like the police, like they're using their authority to their advantage, you know? They're using the fact that people have lack of knowledge about this stuff. Like this, they don't understand that literally we could all went back to our tents and they couldn't did nothing about it because they don't have no search warrant. And the only thing that had to be said is, where's your search warrant? What's your reason that you're making us leave?
The reason is because of the fire that just happened the other day, but we had nothing to do with that. That must have started from the inside of the house or something. But we were over there trying to put it out for people.
The fire
bro.
happened.
The people from our tent city tried to go over there and put it out before the firefighters even came over here, and they just standed there in the front for like 10 minutes before they started to put the hose on it.
Okay, the fire.
Real life, we ran over there trying to save people and trying to get them out and trying to put the fire out.
But
bro,
the fire
they ain't
happened
shit,
last
bro.
night. This past night. It's like overnight. It haven't been 12 hours since the firemen started, and it's an abandoned building. And honestly, I was one of the people that actually ran. Like 3 houses caught on fire. The abandoned building caught on fire, and then the 2 other ones caught on fire. Like neighbors that actually kind of old, like they gave me permission to come on and use the hose when I want to wash up, and they even give me sandwiches when I come over and they're there. Like they like they're the first people I thought of when I heard news about the fire, and I like
I want to make sure they were all
I
right.
don't care what you
yeah,
say.
like, and I
We
seen
didn't
that they was
start
all right.
Somebody else.
Like I was with the fire department checking
There ain't no reason we would start
checking the
that shit,
houses.
then everyone would run
I
over
would
and
open the
try
door
to
for
shoot people and trying to
them
get
so they can get in.
put out.
Like get
The
open,
firefighters
like
were
open a couple
for the
windows to
longest,
get in
not
there and
even
don't open
putting
the
the
doors
hose
for
on
them.
Someone had their
They
own
got
yard
that on footage.
hose to
It's
fucking
crazy.
try and put the shit out, bro. That
And
shit's
like,
wrong.
and like I was one of the ones that they they're like told like, hey, you gotta get out of here now. Like with the hose trying to get the water, like
Somebody from
take the fire
somebody
out.
had a hose connected from their house to put the fucking fire out, and the firefighters were just sitting there. Bro, ain't that some shit?
King.
And it
I
was hot.
swear they did to get us up
So
out
what,
of this bitch.
what is y'all
They
move
didn't try to
now?
put it out for the
What is y'all
longest.
move now? I know last time we had talked to you, King, you were talking about you're gonna look for another spot. So
We already
until you
got
get-
the spot.
Until you get sweated again by the city.
Yeah, we
Okay.
already got the spot.
You already
spot
got it.
right down the block.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that's your next moves?
Yeah.
All right. What about you? What's your next moves?
My next move to I don't know, but my next move, what I'm about to do is yo. I want to get high right now. Shit. Like I said, that's what they know what we do. They look at us like that way anyway. So I ain't gonna hide shit. But like at the same time, I'm about to have to fool, honestly, somewhat. But I am, like I said, if I get arrested, I got a person out there holding my information, my name and stuff, and any video footage, please send it to my email, like, 'cause I do make music videos and stuff, and stuff, and I'm putting on. You never know, so I'm laying up, like,
Oh, I gotta use the bathroom. I don't know where to
pissing them
go.
off with one of my songs. I don't know. Now I'm lying.
Well, thanks for the time, man. Hey, how you doing? Good. How are you? Yeah, right. I recognize you right away. Okay, yeah, I heard about one of them. I didn't hear about the other one. Okay.
The second one was, the gentleman was here, he ran down this way into the alley, and there were like 4 or 5 cops on bikes.
Oh.
And we went over here to see if we could kind of get a better angle to capture the arrest, but they got lost back there, and I never saw them bring him back, so I don't know if he did get officially arrested.
Okay.
But there was one here.
Yeah. Well,
That's all we know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah, I really appreciate the heads up. So as you see here, all the people's stuff is getting taken away. There's the tippy the side cam getting erected. I didn't. And then there was one more arrest at the encampment.
Okay, I didn't see that, yeah.
So 2 total? Yeah, that's what I said. Okay.
Here every fucking day, they targeted.
Well, gentleman just said Angela from Southside Harm Reduction, who was here in her capacity as a encampment defender and supporter as well, was arrested and potentially targeted. We have past interviews with King and Angela on our website. Check them out at unicornride.ninja. Also our Twitter feed and some of our social media feeds. Again, this is 29th and 14th. There's a large police presence. All of the residents have not been allowed to gather their belongings, so they had to leave with what they had. The rest of it is getting bulldozed. So some people are saying this is an escalatory tactic, doing a mid-afternoon eviction, not allowing for residents to come back up with their lives in the weekend, in the nighttime, uprooting them in the late afternoon. Where they sleeping tonight, type of thing. Those were 2 bike officers. 100 residents or so. And this encampment was created because other encampments have been evicted. There goes one person in the back of that squad. That might have been Angela. So reportedly they've made 1 for sure arrest and 1 potential arrest. Better view, give me a second.
Where you got it? Hey, go kill yourself! Hey, you! Pig! 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 Hey, you pig! Hello? Pig! I need you to do me a favor. Put that gun in your mouth and blow your brains out. Your family hates you. Everyone does. Want to do me a favor? Want to do me a favor? Can you take that gun, put it in your mouth, and blow your brains out? Just do that, baby. Be considered it. You considered it, baby. Easy way out.
Thank you all for joining right now. Right now we are live in front of 29th and 14th. We are looking at a eviction by the city of Minneapolis Police Department and the city of Minneapolis Works. They are evicting from an unhoused encampment that was providing safety for about 100 residents to live together. There was quite a few eviction threats on the encampment for about a month or two. And today, about an hour ago, the police decided to roll in on the encampment and evict it. As you can see, all the people's belongings are getting thrown out. We spoke to some residents earlier today when we came up here and said they were not allowed to gather their belongings before the police threw them out. Some of them had already had their tents and belongings thrown out at that point. We're in the East Village neighborhood off of Lake Street near Lake and Remington. Basically right there, what you're looking at is really about 28th and 14th. This bridge is the Greenway. It goes over the Greenway, sort of separates 29th and 28th streets. And encampment is 12th and 29th and 14th. As you see, there's a lot of police forces here. There was at least one arrest and potentially another one. They just set up a tip of the spy cam right here. You can see them actually maneuvering it back and forth from up and down. And the officer who was setting it up there on the left side with the black on, who just shut the door, he was looking at his phone as potentially they have an app that you're able to see what the tip of the spy cam can see, and therefore he was able to set the parameters the way he wanted. So they have those set up all over the city. As you see, it's a large force of police out here, and the black shirts are now getting in their car, the truck, and potentially leaving. The last time on July 8th, there was an eviction threat. Credible sources had said that in the morning, at 5 in the morning, the police would be evicting. Dozens of community supporters and encampment supporters came and marched that eviction attempt, or proposed eviction attempt. Check out our website for more on that. We just have an article up finally today, along with the video from that encampment defense on July 8th. As you can see, the police have blocked off all the streets. residents here were residents from other encampments that were evicted, swept by the city, and they ended up here. Now the move is to find another lot until they get sorted again. And we go to King, one of the residents. On the city truck?
Yeah.
01292.
01292.
Yep, Minneapolis Public Works. 01292.
Fuck the police, coming straight from the underground.
So we're here live on 24th, 29th, and 14th in the south side of Minneapolis.
That's right. Fuck y'all. You're worthless pieces of shit. Worthless shit-eating pigs. Go fuck yourselves over.
We're here live on 29th and 14th here in Minneapolis as the Minneapolis police and the city are impounding people's belongings, throwing it out actually I should say, and evicting the encampment here on 29th and 14th. This has been happening for about an hour. This encampment has been up for a few months and was from residents who were evicted from other encampments. Some of the police have left the corners. There's a lot less of them out here at this block right here. There's also a lot less people. Some of the people's belongings. And the police have all this blocked off as well.
There's still a few. Yes, well, there's a lot of them went that way towards the lake. Right in here.
And when they started. Why? Hey!
is what the supporters have been doing this whole time. Encampment supporters have been supporting the encampment, as well as, you know, giving food, water, drinks to the unhoused here. As we said, there's a lot of unhoused right there, sort of off in the corner in the shade. They are there with all of their belongings. You see this gentleman right here, all of his belongings. There's other people who have been swept from this eviction that are now just roaming the alleys and the streets of the south side, trying to find where they're going to sleep tonight. And this is just a continual cycle, as we've heard numerous times from numerous residents, and as we've seen in the city. Any major city right now in America is dealing with unhoused populations that are getting swept up like they are the crime, and they have no place to live or go. We've heard a lot of different ideas about having a harm reduction space or building. We even heard Mike Forshaw on the side of us saying that he's been trying to get the city to give indigenous people a park, so this could be a park thing. So it's like, well, if you boil down to it, this is indigenous land, and a lot of the indigenous folks, a lot of the unhoused folks were indigenous. Let's see, it's mostly encampment supporters here. Let's see if any of them want to talk, the ones that are left. Unlikely that we will see. Do you want to talk at all? How you doing? You want to talk at all? About the situation? You don't have to. I don't want to put pressure on you. Well, thanks for coming. When do you all want to talk about it? Thank you. Hey, what's up, all? Any of y'all want to talk at all and live stream?
Yeah, right here.
I don't want to film if you don't want to talk. Well, we're live streaming. We're in front of Unicorn Riot, and we're on the internet right now.
Well, I'm not right. We're striking.
You okay if I film you? Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hey.
Nico, you got it. You guys got it.
Cool.
that G was whack.
I don't.
Hey, oh, were you about to?
Yeah, no,
No, you do it.
Hey, you stay over here. Okay.
just ask them like, yeah, I've pointed at you in the morning.
I was literally sleeping and woke up to a gun pointed at me like, get up now. I thought we was like, did something. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? No. Just like, get up, you gotta get everything. And then he snapped, when I was getting my shit though, he snatched my bag and told me I couldn't take it with me.
Wow.
Yeah, they told people they couldn't take their belongings. I took my shit with me. And a lot of other people did, but a lot of people left everything. And then immediately they start fucking throwing it. They got this big ass truck throwing everything away. That's fucked up. There's sentimental shit there. There's a lot of, our friend just passed away. We just found out, Raina, R.I.P. She has shit there, you know? And now it's in the fucking big ass dumpster truck.
Did you all lose stuff too as well?
Yeah.
I lost everything. I don't have anything.
She lost everything.
Wow.
I literally, ain't none of that stuff on that car of mine, girl.
Wow.
That shit is crazy.
How long have you been
Everything.
here?
I've been over there for like almost 2 months now. And it was a really good community because no matter if we got into it, we all had each other's back.
Right.
Anything went down, we were all riding.
Yeah.
Period. Like,
We all fought each other. We all got into it. But at the end of the day, we were family. When one moves, we all move.
That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I don't from 16th to Franklin. I've been at the first tents. I've been in a tent for 3.5 years, 7 years altogether, like dealing with these tents. And I've never got offered anything but housing for the first time this year. So, and I'm still waiting on it. So, when you know how people get housed in what is that, hotels and shit?
Yeah.
I never got offered a hotel.
You never got a voucher?
Never in my life have I got one. They even come talk to me. They would sit there and talk to everybody else, and I swear to God, they were.
Why?
I don't know. Probably my personality,
And they only have so many vouchers. You know, not enough for everyone. But people think they got a assumption that people come here and they give vouchers out and they just put people in housing. Like they have this assumption that, like I've heard it from a lot of different people that, you know, they think these people come and give housing out. They don't. I've been here for about almost 2 months too, and I haven't seen one person come for housing. For coordinated entry, they come and help you do that, but anybody can do that over the phone. That's not housing.
What we're gonna do, and I got W's and all, if y'all know what that means. I'm gonna set up tents all right here on these sidewalks, and every time they move us, we're gonna move a block down.
Yep.
I promise to God, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
They can all ride with it, or they're not gonna ride with it. Me, I was on 26th and Bloomington all by myself.
She was.
On 27th and 16th with a tent for
sitting on top of
a month and a half, and I never moved. When they told me to move, I just disappeared.
Yeah, sitting on top of your wagon.
And
with all your shit.
One day I came there and they moved my stuff, which was against the law because I was on state property, and I know the state did not tell me to move. So, like, I could have a lawsuit 1,000,000 times against the police. Like, the police just ran into me with his bike. Getting away from some other person, that's an assault. And I'm trying to tell them, hey, he just, hit me with this bike. It's on camera because his body camera's on. So that's an assault. I want to press charges, and they just kept on going. So.
And one thing about this tent city that I loved was how diverse it was. It was very diverse. There's people of every race. Like me, I'm mixed. I'm black and native, and there is everyone there. You know, there's natives, there's black people, there's Somalian, there's some white people. It's just, Mexicans, everybody. You know, we all came together, and we all became like so close. Yeah, family. You know.
He's not taking nobody's bike, is he?
We're all one.
Ohana
means family.
Ohana, you know what I was talking about, baby? But another thing is, I want to say, I think it's really fucked up, because, like, knowing the history of this country, the genocide that most of the world doesn't even know how cruel it really was, We got schools here that need to be, we need to dig those schools up and see all the lost children and bodies that are there here in America, because you know about the ones in Canada, but we got so many schools here. My grandma went to a boarding school, but besides that, I just thought I should throw that in there. Don't forget about that.
Well, excuse my dressing too.
You look cute. Besides that, like, considering what happened here, in, majority of the tent cities, majority of the race there is Native Americans. We should be, like, are we never gonna have a land where we can just live peacefully? How come we don't have an area where we can live peacefully, Like, we didn't even know about, back in the day, when the settlers came, we didn't know about buying land. We were like, what, buying land? How can you buy land? Like, like, this is all of our land, it was given to us. Designated areas, not reservations, designated, it should be anywhere, really. We should be able to live as long as we're not disturbing other people. But it's just like, how come we don't have an area where we could just live peacefully?
I feel like,
and how we want to live.
I feel like we really get, as addicts, and then not having a home as well, we get really like dehumanized. We get treated less than, we're not an equivalent, because, you know what I mean? Oh, they're like, they're being enabled and this, that, and I grew up in the, you know what I mean? What started this?
Trauma.
Yep, like they say, the trauma's embedded in our DNA. So is the addiction. Everything that happened to our ancestors, it gets pushed into us. Like, where that shit's instilled in us. You know what I mean? We feel that pain, that hurt, all that shit, like that our people went through. And then we live on the land that our people got killed on, you know what I mean? Like the land that we took from us, our ancestors, like we're walking their gravesite. You know what I mean?
That's
Really,
so
like,
true.
for real.
That's so true, you know? And a lot of people don't understand that we truly feel that pain. Like, it's instilled in us. It's instilled in our blood. Like, when I found out about the lost children, you know, I keep talking about that because it affects me as a person. When I first found out, I had nightmares. I was crying.
They really tried to wipe out our people.
You know,
that, though. That bad. The babies even had to go.
Yeah, and I would teach you guys something that a lot of people that probably don't even know. Do you know how bad like the genocide was? That some mothers, they would kill their kids. Like they would poison them. They would poison them so that they didn't have to watch the white man kill them and butcher them. They were butchering babies and women with axes. You know, they were like, what? That's not a war. That's not a battle. You guys are coming with guns and axes, and these are peaceful people. They're not. We were never savages. Now we're savages because of how we live, how we choose to live, and you know. But
just because we live off of the land and stuff, and you know what I mean. Like our resources is nothing but the land, and we take advantage of every piece of every animal, every piece of every tree branch, everything. You know, when we kill something, we don't just do it for the meat and stuff. We use every bone, bladder, all the fats, all of that, you know? Like, it's not fair. No, like,
you know, and it's like, it should be.
Native Americans, it was illegal to practice our culture like 40 years ago. We couldn't practice our culture legally.
Yeah, just 40 years
ago. We couldn't have powwows. We couldn't, you know what I mean, pray, put tobacco out, speak our native tongue, none of that. 40 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Just
That's
40
sad.
years ago. It wasn't that long ago, you know? Like, just imagine how strong that still is. That blood is real strong because you know why? It wasn't that long ago.
And that's why it's so easy for us to live like this, though. Like to be homeless and stuff, it's nothing to us because back in the day we were homeless.
And we're not really homeless. You know, when we live like this in these communities,
these are our teepees,
right? And that's what we're gonna start. That's my plan and I don't know. I really want to do it, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start an area, and it's gonna be teepees. It's gonna be a community that's gonna have meaning to it. You know, this has meaning to it too. But I want it to be something a little bit different, a little better, like where we all feel like what we're here for. We're standing for something, and it's gonna be a community for everyone to come to, you know. And we're gonna live our lives peacefully, and you know that's what we deserve to do. And that's how it should
today,
be.
Though they really made us feel super less than what we really are.
Right. Yes.
Their ignorance that like I was just telling that lady earlier. I said this is the true prime example of ignorance is bliss. When the police came in today, because they're not aware of us and the fact that like we have feelings. And that shit hurts, you know what I mean? Once again, you know what I mean? We have nothing right now. We already got everything that we fucking loved, everything that we could ever care for, stripped and taken away from us, where like we felt like we had no purpose.
True.
And you guys went and took everything that we fucking like.
We here outside, we live in tents.
And I feel like
that doesn't mean we don't have expensive things. There's fucking 60-inch flat screens in those tents. 70-inch flat screens.
We had generators, like, you know what I mean? So like we could like pass through our tents and stuff. So like if you needed to charge your phone, you needed certain things, you know what I mean? There was stuff that we could use, you know what I mean? Like you needed to use something to cook something real quick. Yeah, electricity, like, like it was. They didn't realize how much we lean on me, literally lean on me. We really.
Exactly. And people have the idea that we live in these tents and we live in these communities because we're addicts. It's not about that, because there's some people that live there that aren't addicts, that have never even used a drug, It's not about that. It's about being able to live peacefully, happily, as a community, as a family, on your own terms, and, without stressing, without worrying how you're gonna pay your rent, without worrying about how you're gonna eat, If somebody's hungry, they don't got food, somebody else is gonna give it to them,
Colonizing ourselves, you know what I mean? That's really all it is. Like, we're tired of living in a colonized, you know what I mean, day. It's time to just take it back, you know what I mean? Go back.
That's true. That's true. And like people really, they don't really know like they don't really know how we, you know, like she said, like they think of us as like nothing, or you know, like we're the lowest,
another responsibility,
lowest on the food chain, or like
that's where my tax money's going to. You know what I mean? Like it's that type of bullshit.
That tax money ain't doing nothing for me. What do I get from your tax money? If that's the case, you can just fucking cash at me, cause I ain't got shit from your tax money. Nothing. You know, nobody in this fucking tent city has this community. I call it tent city because that's what I've been calling it since it started, you know, because it's a bunch of tents in the area. But I don't mean to use that term as, you know, nothing derogatory, because it's not, you know, but it's a camp, you know, and it's a site where we can live peacefully, we can live with who we want to live with our, you know, with our friends and our family. And honestly, people have no idea, like, how much fun we have here, you know? They have no idea how much fun we have. Every day, you know, like, I was in really a deep depression, and then just being here has helped so much because of everyone that's here, you know? Everyone makes me happy. We have, like, you know, we're always laughing, we're always, you know, it's always fun. It's never miserable. We're not miserable here. We're happy here when we choose to be here. It's a choice. You know, it really is a choice, because if somebody wanted to go to a shelter, they could, but it's not as easy to get into a shelter either, because the system is fucked up. Because I actually tried to get into a shelter a few weeks ago, and I called the front door, whatever number it was for Hennepin County, and the lady, she was like, she didn't believe that I was, like, she made it seem like I was lying about being homeless. She was like, well, you know, shelters are expensive and this and that, so we have to verify this and that. And I'm like, do you think I want to be in a shelter? Like, you're acting like you're putting me in the fucking 5-star hotel or something. I don't want to be in a shelter. I need to be in a shelter to get housing. But it was so hard because she wanted to verify from 3 people on my list of where I lived, and she could only get a hold of 2 people. The other person she couldn't go because of their privacy. And so just because she couldn't tell him why she was calling, he was like, well, he's not going to tell you anything about his daughter. And so because she couldn't verify that, I couldn't get into a shelter. So I'm supposed to figure out where the fuck I'm going to sleep with my 3 kids that night because of that. Like, what? You already verified 6 years of homelessness with 2 people. You know, you shouldn't even have to do that. My word should be enough. I'm homeless. I want to get into a shelter. And I got kids. What? You know? So it's not as easy to get into a shelter either, you know? And then people that are in shelters, I always hear about how much money the shelters take from them. Like, they're supposed to be trying to they're supposed to be trying to save money. You know, how can they save money when you're taking everything, you know? Especially people that work. It's not a place for people that work, you know? And it's just like, it's really, the system's fucked up. The system is set up for you to fucking fail, you know? The system is set up for you to fail. The system is set up for you to work as hard as you fucking can and still not fucking be nowhere. Thank you, babe. The system is, you say?
Just like how EBT was set up to break up homes.
Exactly.
You have to have a certain circumstance to fit their criteria. And if, you know, everyone's different, and if you don't fit that exact way, then you're shunned out and you're ostracized and outcast. So,
and you know what?
You know, homeless camps like that we had, you get split up if you try to get into shelters, you know, things like that.
Thank you.
You know, we depend on each other a lot of times.
Yeah, we do.
You know, it's just easier to do things like this.
Yep, we do depend on each other for a lot of things here.
Have one?
And we don't really look at ourselves like homeless because we don't feel hopeless. We have somewhere to sleep, eat, you know. It's a community.
We know each other, we stick together, and we help each other.
So,
with whatever it is.
So where are you going now?
I'm going to a new area, and I'm gonna set up an area for everyone to be at, because I'm not gonna have everyone just sitting on the sidewalk or trying to figure out where we're gonna go, because this was already my plan to set up a new spot, and that's what I'm gonna do, you know. And they can try to make us move. They can try to make us move, but
we've been scoping out new sites for weeks.
Yep. So that's my plan. That's what I was just doing, but I don't know about the spot I chose.
We knew this was gonna come to an end. You know, the writing's on the wall. Every time we're in here for a couple weeks, they start bringing up issues. We know it's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna come to an end, and we gotta move on and, you know, adjust. And that's what we've always done, is been able to adapt
Yep.
And that's part of our nature is to adapt. We're survivors, and that's what we'll do if we survive.
And I want to say one more thing. Like, this whole entire country, it is so, it's built on racism, you know? Like, there is such a thing as white entitlement, you know? And white privilege. You know, I met some amazing white people, you know? It's not, you know, it's sad. It's sad that the good white people, you know, they have to live with that, that label because of, you know, they gotta apologize, exactly. But that white privilege even has you know, I just seen it here today because look, we had to leave everything. We couldn't take shit with us, you know? And I watched the officer, like we all came over here across the street to this sidewalk. I watched an officer escort this white girl that lived there. She'd only been here for maybe like a few weeks. And I watched them escort her back to the tents to go get her shit. How come they didn't escort everyone? Is that some shit? I watched it. Did y'all see that? You know the white girl that, the young one that be with that black guy that be tweaking? The mixed guy? Huh? Yeah. The fucking officer escorted her back over there to get her stuff. And then he told everyone else that, okay, well, one by one, he'll bring them back to get their stuff. No, he didn't do that. She was the only person that was able to go get her shit. Is that some shit? And she's like the only white person there besides one more white person, but the other white girl, she's already by the new site.
If you can't acknowledge, if you're white and you can't acknowledge that you have privilege, then there's definitely a problem. You're part of the problem. You feel me? Like,
like shit, you can give me that privilege. You don't want it, I'll take it. No, I don't want that privilege. I'd rather work hard, you know, work hard and get there. I'd rather take the hard road than have everything handed to me, or you know, that get out of jail free card. But yeah, that even happened today here. You know, that's really fucked up. You know, right?
And then so y'all got there was the credible source of the threat July 8th, right? About 10 days ago, 12 days ago, and people were sort of prepared for that. And then what, they have posted the vacate signs June 27th. So
they gave us a warning and they never came.
Yep.
They never came.
And then
That was a trespassing sign, not an eviction notice.
Yep.
Right.
And
it was just a vacate sign, right?
It wasn't even a vacate sign.
And
okay.
No trespassing. It was a don't be here. But
okay, yeah.
but it did not come with didn't come with an eviction notice. Didn't come with a deadline.
Okay,
No.
that's the clarification.
And then to top it off, the day that we were supposed to, you know, leave the premises or whatever, we had a lot of people here that were like basically supposed to activate for us, or, you know what I mean, like advocate for us and speak for us and stand there, you know what I mean, like speak for us and be a voice for us. And they never came.
Where are they at today? Where's that?
They never came. They basically hit us with a boom, surprise. And that's why I feel like last night's incident with the whole fire thing, I feel like that's a whole setup, yo. Like okay, so last night the whole fire, like up in flames, it was about 2:30 this morning. Like
yeah. Oh yeah, they came last night. Remember they came last night? Remember they was in the alley last night.
The police came, they stopped, they backed up.
Y'all remember that shit? That was before the fire.
For a half hour in the
they were
alley.
walking with their flashlights. Yes.
And that was around
right before the fire was? That was before the fire happened.
That was like, you know, like 30 minutes, an hour before the fire.
Definitely be a freaking fuse malfunction or something. You know what I mean?
And everybody that was, everybody that lives at this camp was accounted for all night. Nobody had left, and we would never do no shit like that because we wouldn't want to hurt somebody, and we wouldn't want to. We don't destroy.
Seen somebody messing with the house or something, and
yeah,
we were out there until about a half hour before the incident happened, and we didn't see anybody tampering with anything or anything.
You know what I mean? Like use the garage as like a place for privacy or something. You know what I mean? Like it was basically like a place that we would go to like to just like chill or get away from the camp. You know what I mean? Get water from the yards and stuff like that. So why would we ruin one of our resources outside of the camp? You know what I mean? Like
exactly. And we know the people that live there. They're so. The one of the houses is a really nice lady, and she'd give us ice. She'd give us ice, or you know, she'd let us use her water hose to get our hair wet, wash ourself off, or whatever, you know. And
the one across the street by the garden.
The white lady with the boxer dog. I don't know. She's like the only one with the water hose over there. The main water hose lady.
and then so y'all are like questioning the fire because the
Yeah.
fire, you think the fire might have led into...
And how three houses,
I heard that there's a page somewhere online that, like, probably Facebook or something, where the neighbors were complaining about us being here and stuff, and there's rumors about us, you know what I mean, breaking and entering basically and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I was feeling like it was probably like somebody doing like a whole insurance, you know what I mean, scam type of thing.
And that's all hearsay.
Yeah, like that's, yeah, I don't know.
I haven't heard, like, I'm in these trenches, like, don't, you know, I'm a good person, but I also got the opportunity to be a bad person at the same time, but I'm not gonna be or act on that. But I have not heard of nobody or seen nobody breaking in any of these houses over here, or breaking in anywhere, actually.
There's word on the street, and that definitely wasn't.
And we hold each other accountable. We tell each other not to mess with where we sleep. You know, these are our neighbors. We want to respect them as much as we can, so that we don't get a bad rep around here.
Exactly.
Sure, we do some activities outside of this area.
Right.
But we make sure that far enough away where it doesn't represent the camp.
And that's not what we don't all do that shit. You know, there's always going to be a bad apple or somebody, you know, but that's not like what we stand for. That's not what we do. But definitely what he said is true. Like, if somebody was to do something in this area, they would get yelled at, like, by all of us, you know, because don't do that shit here. This is where we sleep. You know, we're trying to protect our area and protect people around us, and, you know, that's just not okay. So those fires, I guarantee you, it was started from the police or somebody.
So the fire was...
Somebody that didn't want us there.
Yeah, somebody that didn't want us there.
Down the block from the encampment on 28th.
Yeah, it was about 4 houses down.
Yeah, they said it was 3 houses, right?
Yep.
How the fuck could 3 houses catch on fire?
The wind was pretty bad. Yeah, and the wind was pretty windy last night.
Totally engulfed flames.
I think that was a setup. I think they set all 3 of those houses on fire.
I mean, it completely engulfed in flames. Really?
Yeah.
100 feet high.
Yeah, and those fires like that, all the fires.
About 12 hours ago?
Yep. All the fires I've seen like that are just completely engulfed in flames.
I've ever seen.
All the fires I've seen of houses that are just completely engulfed in flames, they all were fucking, what's the word? Vandalism, not vandalism, arson. Somebody started that shit.
You know, there had to be motive.
It wasn't natural.
And an accelerant to get a fire that big.
It wasn't natural.
And we didn't have either of those to our disposal.
He said that he's seen somebody in a hooded, all black hooded, carrying a gas jug, walking through the alley.
Wow.
And I didn't see that. I was in the alley.
What about these cameras that are in the alley?
Yeah, like this area is usually pretty freaking,
There's
you know what I mean?
cameras right outside there.
Right, there's cameras. Like, how come nobody has looked at that?
I guarantee you, if they investigate further, they'll find a smoking gun. And I bet it's not from our camp.
And definitely, like, Kane, he really protects the camp. He knows everything that's going on. He's always helping somebody, or he's always watching. So if he's seen somebody walking down the alley with the gas can, that happened, you know? So
thank you all so much for sharing. Anything else y'all want to talk about? The lives,
when are we gonna be able to live freely how we want to live? You know, when are we gonna have the land? What it looks like? It looks like, you know, a land that is ours, where we can live and, you know, wake up, eat, go to sleep, you know, shit, everything peacefully. Smoke a cigarette, do whatever the fuck we want to do peacefully, without having to worry about losing everything we fucking own, without having to worry about getting shot if we don't leave. And if we don't leave everything, if we try to take our belongings, gotta worry about getting shot, or, you know, like
treated as an equal. When will it be an equivalent?
Exactly.
To anybody, to motherfuckers that work and don't, you know what I mean, recovering addicts, or who hasn't ever been a part of this type of life that we live. You feel me? Like, it's not fair.
We don't need to be looked down on, because, you know what?
We're degraded.
We're degraded, and we're looked at as like little ants. You know, we can get stepped on easily. You know, but there's so many amazing people here, and people don't even know the backgrounds of a lot of people. Like me, even me, I could say my work history, you know, and people would be surprised. Like, you know, like, for real.
Like, and there's so much potential running through these encampments and stuff. Like, people don't even realize it. You know what I mean? Like, We could have so much stuff for us. There's so much stuff that we did in our lives. There's so many high school graduates, college graduates, all types of things. It just, you know, we might have fell off, you know what I mean? Fell off the road for a little moment, you know what I mean? But at the same time, that doesn't mean our potential isn't still all set there, you know what I mean?
Exactly, and it's
like,
not even like...
Doesn't mean we don't got a fucking beating heart. Like, we don't love and care for, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
And you know what else, too? It's like, we didn't fall off, you know. Some people did. They faced eviction or whatever, and they are homeless. Like me, you know, my landlord didn't renew his lease because he wanted to sell his home, and he was a new landlord, and he didn't know what the hell he was doing. So and it was a ghetto ass duplex. It should have just been one house, not. It was like just thrown together to be a duplex. So he didn't want no more problems with it, but. You know, it's a choice to be here. You know, it's a choice. It's a way of living. It's a way of living. You know, it's not just being homeless. It's a way of living. You know, and everyone that is here wants to be here. You know, people that don't want to be here, guess what? They're not here. You know, they're somewhere else. You know, they're in the shelter, they're in the house, whatever. This is a way of living. You know, and I'd rather live like this.
People that live like this through the whole winter.
Yeah,
the whole freaking winter they live like this.
And we're warm. We stay warm. We have, you know, we have heaters
and stuff, all types of stuff. You
fires,
know what I mean?
Campfires.
For real. And those are the more Minnesota winter. Let's be real. Like that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. Like oh my gosh, frostbite. People, I done had friends who had their toes cut off because of stuff like, you know what I mean?
But remember, this is how our people used to live. We always lived outside. We lived through these winters, many winters.
They die all the time. You know, in our community, people fall off once, twice, 3 times a week.
That's true.
You gotta keep going.
Narcan gets too cold and it don't work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And another thing is that, you know, at the end of the day, we're all human. We should be treated as humans. You know, our view should be understood, you know, because it's a view. The way we live is a view. Our view should be understood. Our choices should be accepted, you know. We shouldn't be judged for living outside, living together in a community of tents, you know. And that needs to change. Like the main goal of this city is anywhere we post up to get us out of there, get us in jail, kill us, whatever. You put us in treatment so the state can get those dollars because the state gets paid for us going to treatment, you know. And
you can't force us to go to treatment. It has to be something we want to do.
Exactly.
Why are you guys talking about wasted taxpaying money? That's wasting money a lot. You're gonna keep on. Every time I go to court, I gotta go to treatment. Well, treatment's not gonna work. Being sober because it's court ordered and I gotta go pee for a fucking probation officer isn't gonna work, and I'm gonna keep having warrants and I'm gonna keep going back to jail because this ain't what I want right now. I'm not ready for it.
Yep. My friend just graduated treatment and guess what? He was high the whole entire fucking time, and he was selling dope and shit. He was high the whole time and graduated treatment and got a medal.
Every day we won't have to go do time.
That says a lot right there, for real.
Like the system needs to learn how to work with us and not against us. You feel me? Like figure it out. You guys find out all other types of ways to fucking fix the roads and all this other shit. You know what I mean? How about you find a way to fucking work with us?
Exactly.
Help me, help you, help us.
Exactly. Work as a team, you know.
For real.
Like I'm pretty sure all these
you know how many volunteers out here?
rather have us all in jail than have us in a home somewhere or have us living somewhere at a different site. They rather have us all in jail. You know, the system is set up for us to fail. We're not human, you know. We're not. That's the way they look at us. We're not human. You know, I don't know what we are to them, you know, but we're not that. We're not anything. And we're not worthy.
We're scum of the earth.
We're the scum. We're the scum.
It's fine.
And that probably contributes to a lot of the crime that does happen, you know, because we're not even looked at as like, you know, somebody of value. So
how many charges? A lot of my charges honestly are of stolen vehicles because we needed a place to stay at, you know what I mean? And then the cops get behind us and I'm sorry, but I had to go.
Bye.
Yeah, like see, I'm not gonna just park the fucking car and get up. And a lot of times we didn't steal the cars, we literally found the keys on the ground and beeped it, you know what I mean? Like literally.
We never ever like just took a car. We don't, like, us as a community, we don't do that type of shit. Like if someone's got a steamer, they got it some type of legit way. Even though it's not legit, it was legit. Like nobody just bogarted somebody and took their keys.
No, the safest way to get it. It was fair. No, I'm just
Nobody got hurt in the process.
I'm just playing.
For real. But like the way they look at us contributes to a lot of the crime that happens, because we're not looked at, we're held to some standards, their standards, but we don't follow their standards. But we're not looked at as valuable people, valuable human beings that have a place in this world. So if you're not looked at as that, then why the fuck care what anybody thinks? Let's go fuck up all the shit. Let's go fuck up people that are looked at as that. Or not even, it's not about hurting people. It's about, you know, getting money or whatever they want of value. But
we're basically
they're like,
just being the individuals that you already see us as, basically.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's what it is. Just being what they already see us as. Because what the fuck, why not? You know? I mean, I'm not, you know, saying go do dumb shit and hurt people, but it's like, why not? If we're already looked at that, then
it's like the situation is just continuing. You know, you even started it from like, this land is indigenous land, genocide happened.
Yes.
Historical trauma, generational trauma, that all plays a part into it. This is land that you just said we own, and then you're being evicted from the own land.
Right, a couple hundred years ago.
Land that wasn't even being used at that.
Right, a couple hundred years ago.
Empty lot.
Not even that long ago. It's always an empty lot where nobody, you know, they only have a problem when we use it because we're there. You know, I bet if it was different people that was there using it for something.
Let's go back to right off the freeway, right on Franklin, alongside the wall.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. There wasn't, you know, that was a pretty good area, I felt like.
It's almost like, if you think about it, it's almost like history replaying itself. I'm glad nobody got hurt here today, but just like how they came and, you know, they stole our land from us back then, you know, they killed us and butchered us, you know, and they try to change us, and, you know, they still looked at us as savages. They try to change us to make them like them and their standards and their customs. But look what they're doing today. It's like the same damn thing. You know, the police came in here, they came deep, they came with guns out, and they told everybody to get the fuck out, you know? They gotta go, because it's their shit. You know? Is that not, like, it's almost like history playing itself, but thankfully it's not as bad.
They came in marching one by one, like, all right, time to go get your stuff together, you're trespassed.
Yep.
Where's our slip at then?
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Where's the documentation saying that we're trespassed? You know what I mean? You can't just tell somebody you're trespassing and you can't come back.
Yep.
You need documentation of that. Literally, like if you want to get into the whole legal thing, let me see your name signed on a piece of paper and let me get my yellow slip, my pink slip.
Speaking of legal thing, I want to say this before I forget. Like, where's that attorney at that was here a couple weeks ago? I forgot her name. She was saying that she's suing the city for them making us leave and them doing illegal things because we have the right to be there or whatever, right? And I told her, I asked her, I said, oh, you're suing them? I said, so that means you're gonna get a settlement, right? And she was like, yeah, well, yeah, there's a settlement. I asked her how much it was, and she didn't have an answer for that. But I said, okay, well, I'm pretty sure the way you're moving about this, it's gonna be on the news, it's gonna be public, and, you know, it's gonna be something big, so it's gonna be a large settlement, right? And she said, yeah. I said, well, why are you getting paid? Why are you getting paid for the shit we're going through? That's kind of fucked up. So I was like, what are you gonna use the money for? And she didn't even have an answer. I was like, yeah, no, not for us at all. And I was like, not to build tiny homes, not to build nothing, you know? And I'm like, wow, that's kind of fucked up. So you're just gonna come, you know, that's kind of like you just hop in, it's like a little come up for you real quick. You know, you see money, you see a lawsuit, and you want to go get that money real quick. It's not about us. And I thought that was really fucked up. So she's gonna go get millions of dollars because she's gonna win because all the legal shit that happened to us,
setting up a
and then not even help us with that money.
The you know what I mean, set cause.
Right.
That it was, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. We should be the ones suing them, you know? We should as a whole. That whole lawsuit, I feel like that should be like, you know, thrown out, and we should be able to fight. We should have the opportunity to do that, you know? We weren't thinking about that lawsuit because we're not thinking about legal stuff. But that money should go to us. You know? We should be the ones suing. We're the ones going through it. We're the ones losing all our shit, getting kicked out. How come a random person,
that should go
a random
to
attorney
open lot that we can pay
six figures a year already can just come and just collect money for us?
Supposed to be a space, I guess.
It's
the
like
guy wanted us to pay like $2,000 or something a month for it. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure if all of us came together, we could probably like afford that. You know what I mean? All of us in the encampment together,
right?
We could come up with $2,000, easy peasy. You know?
Just imagine what we would do if we were to like win the settlement based off what the city has done to us in our camp. What we would do with that money? It would be so positive for the whole entire city because we're all loving people and we all want to help. You know, that's all we do is want to help
just
and
for
give.
the simple fact of how much destruction of property.
Right, and the people that have barely anything are the people that give the most. That's the truth.
It's the materialism, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what a lot of people live off of and shit. All we got is our memories.
Yep, that's true.
Like, today, we literally live in the moment.
Yep. Like, we don't value material stuff, but we do value the things that we get because we don't got nothing, you know? So the shit that we do, you know,
now what do you have left?
We have nothing, you know? I took my bags and I'm like, oh, this shit's heavy. I said, fuck it. I threw it in my tent and I pulled my whole tent because I don't got money for another tent. You know, these tents are expensive. Nobody got the money for another fucking tent.
How many organizations are getting funding for tents right now? Aren't we going into war right now? Like, isn't there like a war happening right now or something, like with Russia or some shit? Like, I don't know. Like, I heard there was, I don't know. I don't watch the news, but
it's not our war, but we always gotta.
Yeah, we gotta have allies. You know what I mean? Like, like, come on now.
Yeah. And I always think it's crazy too that when I see shit about this country giving money to other countries for their hungry people, like what? There's so many hungry fucking people here, hungry kids. That money should be going to us, you know? And then another thing about public housing, you know why why most of us are homeless? Because all the public housing is going to refugees. 85% of the public housing in Minneapolis is refugees live in it. So how come, you know, there's a vacancy for low-income housing, the state, federal organizations, whatever, will help me pay my rent, but I can't move in there because there's somebody from fucking Somalia that lives there. And I have Somalian friends, but this is what is happening, you know? Like, everywhere is taken up and filled by Somalians. That's not fair. Like, you know what? Even the Red Lake building that they built, the low-income housing, we got lucky because it has to be by their laws and their rules. It has to be filled.
Native American privilege.
Yep, and
so
that's Native American land.
It's top of the list.
That's Native American land. Yep, it has to be 85% Native American living in that building. Then the rest goes to anybody else.
Because
but if they didn't have that, it would have been Somali.
Yeah, a lot of these Native
Look at Waukegan on or whatever. What is it? On Franklin, that building on Franklin, it's an Indian building made for Indians that were homeless, but it's mainly fucking Somalians that live there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Right next to Indian Center?
Yeah, I feel like they should build, you know, it shouldn't be divided by race, but they should build specific buildings for African people, you know, refugees.
African American.
And then,
why don't they get them type of privileges as well? You know what I mean? Like, why don't they get privileged housing and shit? You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that always bothered me was like, you know, like.
It seems like a lot of anti-black and anti-indigenous sentiments happening in the city.
Yep. Like, how much of the city is populated by them though? You know what I mean? There's so much shit just going on. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like gentrification, all types of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you want to push us way out to fucking New Hope, okay? But we don't got money. We don't got car money. You know what I mean?
There's
shit
no
like
buses
that. Like,
out
come
there.
on now.
And I feel like, you know, people that are actually from here, born here, they should be priority for public houses versus somebody that just came here from a different country, you know? Like, look at Albright Townhomes, Finley Place. I used to live there for fucking 6 years. And that community is nothing but Somalians. And my neighbors, I love my neighbors. I love them. They were really good people. But the point is, I guess, like 10, 20 years ago, I guess that community was nothing but it was diverse. It was black people, white people, and that's what it was filled with. but I guess somebody got in the office that was Somalian or whatever, and started moving most of the Somalians in there some years ago. But now it's like there's like 100 units there, right? And there was me, and then like 2 other people. So 3 people out of fucking 100 units are the only ones that are black or Native American or that are actually from here, and the rest is given to refugees. Like, that's so fucked up. Like, just imagine that number. How many homeless people it would from here that deserve to have a house they can afford could be living there, And that's not the only. It's like every fucking apartment, every community that is low income, even the new ones, it's filled with refugees. How come we're not priority? That's not fair.
Motherfuckers act like their job was that fucking hard. No, I'm just playing. Like, they broke a sweat off for fucking taking the bobcats through and scooping up our shit.
It's so fucked up.
Like, that was such a stressful job.
Like, for real, so much shit is in there, valuable shit too. Everything's valuable, even if it doesn't got a dollar amount to it. It meant something to somebody.
Yeah. Like I know, like, Twin, he had like them skulls and stuff, baby.
Right.
Like
all
deer skulls and stuff like that.
All
like,
the merch
that's, like, cultural stuff.
All the merch I done gave that nigga is gone. Everybody's merch, but no, like even the tents there. The tents alone are valued. Those tents are expensive. You know that? Those tents are really expensive. They're not easy to be replaced. Like, everybody that got misplaced today that didn't bring their tent, guess what? They got to figure out how they're gonna get a tent. We don't got the money to just go buy a tent. So, what that means? People are probably going to go steal tents or whatever. That's just adding more crime or whatever, illegal shit. But you got to do what you got to do. But, what about those tents? They're not going to reimburse that. They're not going to help us get that, I wish those tax dollars were going to actually benefit us. Why are the tax dollars benefiting the state still, And a lot of taxpayers are mad at the poor because they think that we are living off of their tax money, but guess what? We aren't living off their tax money. We're not even living off the state's money. Some people are living off the state's money, but majority of people that are living off the state's money, living off welfare, guess what? They're white. That's a proven statistic. But it's just like those tax dollars ain't benefiting us. They're not doing shit for us, And even without those tax dollars, there's still going to be welfare. There's still going to be whatever else the tax dollars are going to, and people are still going to use that and utilize that. But don't be mad at us because you're paying taxes, because guess what? We pay taxes too. We pay taxes too, I probably got fucking $1,000 taken out of my checks over the past year from work. That's going to taxes, So the people that are benefiting, that aren't really benefiting from taxes, they pay taxes too. We're all taxpayers.
Like, no,
every citizen is a taxpayer. So, I just wish we would get out that stereotype and not be looked at. Oh, that's where my tax dollars are going. You didn't make me. You didn't make shit I got. You didn't do nothing but go to work. And we all got taxes coming out of our checks. So. But I wish the taxes would actually I'd rather have my taxes on my check go to something benefiting people, It's not really doing, it's not, I don't see it, I'd rather see what's happening than it's just going to the state, it's just going to Uncle Sam. That's all it's doing. It's not really benefiting anybody. I guess it's benefiting the state. I guess it benefits us somehow, we just don't know how. But yeah, that's a whole different thing. But I just wish we could have a community where we can stay and live peacefully how we want to live without being bothered, and without disrupting anyone, because we don't want to disrupt anyone. We just want to live peacefully, and we're a family.
Thank you so much. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. I didn't even think I was gonna talk.
Well, thank you for opening up. I think you shared a lot of really important things, and
thank you.
A lot of it's your personal experience, so really appreciate you sharing.
Thank you so much too.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime.
Yep. And next time you see somebody that's homeless, don't judge them. You don't know them. You don't know where they came from. Just try to. I think we all should look at each other as family in a way. We should all help each other and, try to understand each other and be there. Because what the main thing is? It's about loving each other, So next time you see someone homeless, don't judge them, help them. If you see someone signing, give them $1 if you got it, Don't be like, oh, he's going to go buy a bottle or he's going to buy this. It doesn't matter what he's doing with it. At least you're helping him make his, his day a little easier, He actually might go buy a sandwich. If not, if he buys a bottle, oh well, guess what? You're making his day easier for him. Look at it that way. And he might not use that for that. Everybody's not, their intentions aren't to do the worst, So when you see a homeless person, look at them as yourself and picture yourself there. You know, picture that as you, and treat them how you want to be treated.
That's real. Well, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Give me a hug too.
Yep, thank you.
You know, good luck in your next move.
Yep, what's your channel?
Right. I don't have a card.
Oh, I think I seen you before when you were in here.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, talking to King.
Yep, I remember.
Let me see.
I remember the name, Unicorn Riot.
Nice. Yes, I do go to court.
Thanks. Is this going to be posted today?
It is live right now. So
it's
all
live.
of that, yeah.
Okay.
All of that was already posted on our Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
You have a lot of people.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I'm just wondering how many people do that. That's okay.
You can
I
probably
feel
look
like
it up
that-
online right now and see on Facebook.
Okay, I will.
Yep.
Yep, Unicorn Riot.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook and Twitter and
YouTube and our website.
Okay, I'm going to go to YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. How do I contact you if I want to contact you?
This one, like these videos.
What else do you record? Like, do you do like some of the music shit? Do you do like interviews and shit like that, or like you know?
do it on a different side of that, but yeah.
I'll contact you though when it starts. When I can release my shit and it starts.
Okay. There you go. All right, it's good to talk to you. Yeah, thank you for sharing. They released the body footage?
Yeah, like literally
Just now? Is it real bad? You didn't see it? Yeah. Andrew Tekle Sundberg's body cam footage has just been released. As well as we're up here on 29th and 14th in South Minneapolis, where police have just eradicated a encampment. We heard from a few of the residents right there a moment ago, some of their thoughts around this eviction. Most of the lot is cleared at this point, it seems. Give me a moment to gather a few fact-finding things. So yeah, again, thank you all for tuning in. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Thank you, Dan, for running the back end. We have word and just saw as well, the Minneapolis police have released the body cam footage for the killing of Andrew Tekle Sundberg last 2 weeks ago, last week sometime. 2 snipers killed him. Snipers were also involved in the Mirlat killing. Supposedly they released the body cam for that. Here on 29th and 14th is in East Phillips, an encampment that once stood for a few weeks, housing about 100 residents, has now been evicted. As you see, public works officers or workers sweeping or clearing the encampment of what's left of the encampment. There was a lot of belongings that people had that have been destroyed and thrown away. From my understanding, they weren't allowing anybody to go back and get their belongings. The police came with guns, drawn, telling people to vacate the premises, that they are trespassed from the area and they can't get their belongings. We heard from a couple residents that one of the people was allowed to go back into the encampment to get their belongings, and that was a white lady. One of the only white ladies in the encampment, from what the residents said. Again, these are the remnants now. We have supporters, encampment supporters, as well as encampment residents that are now in the front of yards down here on 14th Ave, where the police have now evicted them. Here about the cycle of evictions and needing space, and it's traumatizing dehumanizing. We were here July 8th as residents here and community July 8th. We talked to Angela as well as King. Angela, an Encampment supporter and defender, as well as King,